Alright, confirmed. I think we're live. Let me check one more time. I think we're good. Alright, we have confirmed. Alright, so what are you guys up to?
Nothing much.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of just wanted to do a modern car round, so yeah, that's why we're here. So from the last stream, I modified my thing to have much faster shifting time in sport mode because in the transmission, the default value is 0, but 0 actually means it's automatically calculated, which unfortunately in sport mode meant it was way too long for sport mode. But for normal mode, it was very good because it made it very crisp, unlike the beam stuff, which prioritized smoothness. So I kept the 0 for normal mode, but then I just set sport mode to 0.05 seconds. Also, otherwise, compared to last week, I didn't change anything. So we got a bunch of creations from a few of our server members here. And the reason I choose Nurgling is I like to test my well, I like to test everything I make here. So I thought it'd be interesting to see how it would compare to others. So yeah. Oh, and I've understeer. Oh, jeez. That's a weird person. So yeah, how is Shoji liking his car so far? Oh, right. Sorry. Uh, it's pretty nice. So like, what kind of handling characteristics specifically, or is it power delivery, or I don't know. Oh, oh, that's stable. Oops, that's not good. Yeah, I couldn't tell how much power you wanted. I assumed you wanted 380, and it already had 380, so I didn't change anything to that. However, I made the supercharger kind of embedded, so it's standard now, so it will automatically load in the supercharger. Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, and you left. Maybe. Yeah, Shoji just crashed already, which is interesting.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. Where are you?
I'm back to the tourist area.
Ah,
I, w-
the
I went as far as Metzger's Fell before I decided to respawn.
yeah. Oh, and I just crashed.
Well,
Wow, that's a troll moment. Yeah, I just crashed. Uh, I apologize for So how do you like the performance of your thing so far? I didn't change much actually.
My truck.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's still just as good as doing four-wheel drifts.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't check the power. How much power was it supposed to make?
370 something. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like a mild kind of thing then. I put in Comet Truck to see as a comparison, and I think I don't know. It might be overkill. 'Cause I forgot how much it has. I thought it had 500, if I remember correctly. So
Well, I mean, either way, my thing's probably got it beat in terms of handling because this is a subcompact crossover disguised as a truck.
yeah, I
Like
get what you mean.
it's got a unibody, tiny bed,
Yeah, I get what you
etc.
mean. Yeah, I'm not sure because oh, it's not responding. My beam isn't responding now for some
Oh,
reason. I load in. Oh, now it's responding. I will load in. So time to load. Yeah, I saw you put in a inline sound.
yeah. I don't like the trumpets, and
Yeah,
I couldn't. I know at some point AutoBeam Exports came with like a better V6, but that's no longer the case.
right.
So, and I know there's an unused flat six sound as well, but that wasn't really my thing either. So I
Yeah,
just said F it and went inline.
yeah. I did do a double take. Then it matched up pretty well, and I forgot. I actually kept a trumpet for Shoji's car because I thought it'd fit. Because I kind of like the fact that it was pretty raspy, so I thought it would be suitable for his kind of thing. And then I overlaid the Bastion sound above it for the intake,
Interesting.
so it wouldn't sound as kind of empty because problem automation sound from like the get-go is it sounds very empty.
Like
There's
there's no bass or
it's just there isn't much of a deceleration sound and absolutely just no intake sound too. So it's just a lot of things are kind of just missing in general. And so yeah, which is why I overlay that sound so it would kind of help complement that. Because actually, the Automation stock exhaust sound has a deceleration version, but it's so faint. You might as well not hear it. Oh, same area, isn't it? Yep. And I keep crashing the same area. It's like there's a big hill, and I keep jumping over it, but all of a sudden,
fluke plots.
I
Fluke
think it
plots.
might be that corner. Yeah, this sounds like the right location. Yeah, and all of a sudden, like I hitting the grass, and then I'm understeering into the wall. It's like, yeah,
Yeah, fluke plots is tricky if you don't have downforce.
yeah, definitely. I actually put some downforce, but apparently I've been told they switched the colors, so I may have gotten the downforce a little messed up. Because I forgot what color the front and rear downforce were, but I think they swapped it. But yeah, overall, my thing seems to be very composed here so far. Obviously, push it too far, it'll understeer quite badly. And it can get unstable if you're being absolutely reckless with it, but overall, it seems to be pulling itself out pretty well. But obviously, sometimes you have moments where, besides from the understeer, you jump a curve, you suddenly lose grip in the rear, and it'll start rotating around you too aggressively. And if you already lose control, well, it's just, might not be the easiest thing to recover because of a ton of front grip. So it's not entirely most forgiving, but it works very well overall. The brakes are very, the brakes are really nice. They don't fade at all, and they offer quite a bit of force. Well, but you still need to be careful about your steering input during braking, because this thing is pretty heavy at 4,000 pounds, around, well, actually 3,800 pounds. The other version's for like 4,000 pounds.
So I switched cars, and I see what you mean about the rasp, but it wasn't the rasp I was thinking of. Like, it's not. It's like it's got like an aggressive rasp to it, not like a Nissan VQ trumpets or whatever.
I think so. I think the VQ is more like a Blatt. Like it just like stays it all out. Whereas something like an F-Type has a little more careful, is a little more careful in terms of sound. Because I was thinking like, yeah, because I think like the VQ tends to push all of that air out, so it kind of just sounds like the trumpet thing.
The sound you transplanted it into this car, does it come from like a V6 or a Boxer?
Oh, your thing? I put the Bastion, so it's a V6.
Well, wait, sorry, no, I was referring to Shoji's car.
Oh yeah,
This
it's a V6. I transplanted in a V6. And that sound, it's, thank you, yeah. It's literally just, I took the stock beam sound and turned it up, made it louder, and then that was about it. Because I already liked that exhaust. Because I was thinking, I tried transplanting in the exhaust sound, but it was so bad. So I didn't know how to do the muffling too. And it even was muffled, it still wouldn't have sounded right because it'd be a little too dull. So that's why I still stuck with the automation sound for the exhaust. I'm not sure how Shoji, because in automation you can tune the exhaust sound, so I'm not sure how Shoji did that. But yeah, how's his car handling so far?
It's about what I'd expect out of a Grand Tourer.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it can definitely handle though, like it's nimble.
Right.
Closer to like I don't know, something mid-engine or.
Yeah, I kind of realized it's quite darty actually, surprisingly so. The response is pretty quick for what it is, but it's not very stable. I think. I don't think it's very.
It feels pretty stable on my end so far.
Right. Because it's like I've had cases where it suddenly just the rear end suddenly just rotates around me all of a sudden in like a slight curve, and like it's like on the first corner, for example, I've had the rear kind of just do a 180 on me. Though it might happen, I think it may tend to happen during braking, so maybe the balance could use some work. But yeah. Otherwise, yeah. And the other issue I had is the transmission because I did some tests with the transmission, and there would be times where it would actually upshift when I pushed it down. Like when I was trying to accelerate, it would actually upshift like in the first 2 seconds and then downshift 2 seconds later. Yeah. So I feel like the automatic stuff in Beam still could use some response overall. Because for the automatic, for example, my car has a torque converter automatic, and I still have similar issues where it'll only shift down one gear, and then it'll downshift again. Where I want, for example, if I'm in eighth at 37 miles an hour, I would want it to shift to like third, second as soon as possible, but it'll shift to seventh first, and then shift to third, and then shift to second, which is a little concerning. That behavior is a little concerning, yeah. Intake. So intake. Wait. Oh, jeez. So are you saying you modify that intakes? So you increase the sportiness of the intake. Is that what I'm hearing? Yeah, shifting. Yeah, not sure. Um, does it vary? If your wheel, I would expect it to be better. I'm a keyboard, so I can't really expect the best out of it. But also, I went ahead checked the scintilla file, and they had a provision to actually have to actually respond to aggressiveness, and I don't think the automation original export for dual clutch and automated manual has that. Yeah. Yeah. Also, one thing I found interesting, you literally took your inspiration and ran with it because it's kind of obvious. That front kind of nice, pretty nice actually, but I do think the grille should be wider, I think. Or it could be integrated better, because I think that's the weak point. And that rear spoiler, that rear kind of retractable thing could could be wider, unless I don't know. I thought it could be wider, but otherwise, it's pretty nice. Oh, and Shoji crashed again. Yeah. But yeah, I had to make the dual clutch much more aggressive overall. So that's why I added in the response to I think I enabled a function for calculating aggression, and then I also enabled it to actually react to the aggression. Nice job.
So that's how you get it to do donuts.
And your thing is all-wheel drive too. I don't know what kind of differential this thing has. Actually, both. I'm assuming this thing has electronic differential. Oh no! Oh! Oh, Shorty joined again. Yeah, that was weird. Anyways, yeah, I think I tried passing Stig. All of a sudden, I lose my rear end because I kept accelerating in a curve at full throttle, and then it just stepped out, and it's like, nope, it didn't. Took a while.
I still find it surprising how easily this thing can drift. Like you just need to Scandi flick it and that's it.
Oh yeah,
I think
definitely.
I think the all-terrain tires have something to do with that.
I'm not sure if you know how some slicks, for example, they have good grip, but then if you break away, they break away quite suddenly. So I was wondering, I don't know how all-terrains work in that regard.
Like you mean the progressiveness, how easy it
Yeah,
is to like initiate slip?
yeah.
You just get yeah.
'Cause I was
Yeah,
thinking
I
it's
think
like, so
all
I could,
terrains are very forgiving, and slicks, of course, are like right at the limit. Slicks are like the worst.
by design. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's like, oh yeah, oops. Yeah, because it's kind of
Oh,
like, oh, sorry.
I just crippled.
One question I don't know how to,
Hmm?
there's one question I don't know is how to make the supercharger quieter. It still is pretty loud. Oops, sorry. Right. Oh, really? Huh. So superchargers do indeed have their own volume thing, I guess. All right then. Yeah, I actually had no idea then. Yeah, you can. Yeah, this. I wonder how this thing does right. Oh, wow. Okay, you really went. Oh, okay. Wow.
Oops.
I didn't see that coming. Oh, wrong turn. Now we're on the Grand Prix track.
I was just following the money.
I suppose. Yeah.
No, I braked way too low. Oh.
Oh, wow. Okay. Not good. Oh, nice job, Steve. Yeah, on like a tighter course, it actually does pretty well on a high-speed course. I think that's where it starts falling apart. Because on here, the Grand Prix course, it actually does very well. But once I get into the Nordschleife, that's when it starts getting unstable. Especially around the really high-speed corners, like the slight curves. Oh, and someone's already catching up. Yep. Fortunately, the brakes seem alright so far. So I have to push them harder to see how they perform. slow down a little bit. And then take a left at this corner. Left turn up ahead. This portion seemed alright actually. So one other question I have is how much downforce is it running? And what the differential is running? What's the differential? And what's the tires? Yeah, it was still wow. Oh, and I've lost. Oh, I didn't lose it actually. But yeah, good power band throughout the range. And actually quite eager actually at higher end. But at the lower end, it seems to actually pull quite hard too on the low end. So it's pretty balanced. It's good power overall. The transmission overall should be responsive unless you're in a very high gear at a lower speed and then it tends to stumble. But in this kind of situation, it seems to know what it's doing. Nice slide right here. I don't know how heavy this thing is too. This thing has got to be much lighter than both of my sedans. That was not good input. Should not have steered that much. But yeah, when you turn in, when you overshoot it, it actually scrubs off speed quite nicely. So you don't know, you definitely know where you turn in. So overspeeding into your corner with the understeer, it doesn't seem to be much of an issue, but it's just, for example, here. And with no here with an elevation change, all of a sudden the rear might step out. So yeah. Oops. All right. Wonder what. I just.
I don't know what. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the hell happened, but my driver cam, no matter which car I spawn in, is now locked to like between the front row seats. Like I can't rotate it sideways.
What?
So I think I'm gonna leave and rejoin.
Yeah, that's
See
alright.
if that fixes it.
I've had that happen before, but I'm not sure if it's because of like because automation now calls driver like the dash or something.
Funny thing is, it was the driver cam was working just fine. Like I don't know, 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, used to work very well, but like in the last few sessions, we have cases where it's just been like in the headrest of the front seat, and it's like I don't know. So yeah, 380 horsepower, 245, 275 sports with mechanical LSD. Not much downforce. 1480 kilograms is maybe still lighter than my car overall, but I can check. That would be around. That's actually pretty light. That's like 3,262 pounds. It's pretty light for a modern car. I mean, that is the power, the stability. A lot of that comes from the all-wheel drive system. I'm assuming suspension set up very aggressively. It actually doesn't make all that much power. It makes around 400. So probably like, seems like maybe an early, or maybe just a milder kind of trim counterpart to GTR. I am just spectating Shoji whipping his GTR around. Yep, it's quite easy to just push to your limits. It will plow. It can plow quite severely when you keep pushing it as expected. But you can overcome that, alright. But yeah, this thing makes around 370, 380. So actually, it's around the same level as Shoji's car, if anything. So it'd be interesting to see kind of the differences if we run them head to head. Yeah.
Works again now.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, you need to. I think with this thing, you need to be careful of your placement. So yeah. Nice carousel. I don't know the size of the tires on this specific thing. I would have to ask Laptop because he made it. Oh, you also one weird thing is so that spoiler has the third brake light, but when KB had it on her thing, it became clear for some reason. In both automation and beam, even though the material was supposed to be red, and yeah, sometimes the curves will eat your tires. So yeah, not a good. Where did the rest of you go? Oh, there's Stig. Let's. Oh, and for some reason my car shut off. Oh, and I just crashed. Oops. May have overshot that corner a little bit. Yeah. If you want, we can do a race like at the beginning, as in the actual start, not the tourist start. Like when we finish. Yep. Oh, I think I oversped you that. Oh no, I actually did not. I made it look right. I think I'm catching up to you. So let's see what happens. Oh, you're already plowing. Oh no.
And my steering's fucked.
Rip. Oh, nice. Oh, nice.
Just reset over here.
Yeah. Oh, that was a little sketchy. I almost overspent. Oh, and I did. That was not a good tap. Oh, yet more plowing at the tight corner. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can finish this up, and I did not. Here, tell me, if you want, I was saying we can go to the actual start of the track. Not this part, but like before there's like another pit.
Yeah.
So we can just go there.
I just want to see if I can like actually complete this lap first.
Yeah. Of course.
Because this thing loves to understeer. Like when you let off the brakes, like when you're on the brakes. Oh my god. That never happened.
What happened? Yeah.
Like, okay. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my words here.
No, that's all right.
Okay, yeah. When you brake and then you take your foot off the brakes, then some of that weight gets transferred off the front axle. So it's like a lose-lose situation if you're coming into a corner too hot.
Right. Depending on like what happened, yes. Oh, well, that's okay. I guess that's the pit, but okay. Oh, Stig's still at it. We'll spectate him. It seems to be handling all right. Well,
Who's that?
who?
Someone just
What is
joined the Discord call.
happening?
Oh, hello Yuri. How you doing? Oh, we're at
Oh.
Nürburgring.
Damn it.
I see.
We are yeah, we're doing another session. We are trying to troll each other with modern cars.
That
I mean, it is open right now. Oh, geez. Oh, that was a weird four-wheel slide from Stig.
yeah, I don't really like the Nürburgring, so I guess I'll just pop out. See y'all.
All right. See you later. Yeah. Historically, I remember when Kami used to do it. Nürburgring.
Oh no.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Historically, when Comet used to run these, Nürburgring was actually a very unpopular option among a bunch of us because I think it was like very long, mostly due to its length and the fact that it's still one route, mostly. And it's also just very. I don't think even it being very technical is like. Yeah, I think it's just the combination of the length and it's just a lot of corners kind of just thrown right at your face. And yet it's like a good mix of low, mid, high speed corners with the long straight at the end. Yeah, I think at this point, like, this doesn't apply to actual driving, but I've driven it enough in Beam where, like, I have a basic idea of what to expect. But there'd be cases where two parts look the same and then I get tripped up by them. For example, there's like two like bank corners. There's like carousel, but there's also that bank corner right before the straight at the end. Well, not right.
Schwalbenspawns, I think
Made.
it is.
Yeah, I think it's like a smaller.
Swallowtail.
Yes, it's not as deep, but it's still a similar layout. No. Uh, oops.
Casually do a 360.
So yeah, also
Holy shit, I actually
just
pulled that off.
nice. Yeah,
Nice.
also just like a lot of our themes. So we had like Toge theme, I think, and that kind of made a return like 2 weeks ago. Um, we had a well, actually, most of our sessions were done in West Coast, if anything. Um, the West Coast, yeah, West Coast, the beam map, because of a lot of the variety. So we did like some of the things we did K cars, where we did supercars. We did, and then I for the supercar round, I decided to troll with my sports sedan. The one comment made me, the overpowered one. Yeah, it's literally, and I basically, if I could eviscerate Yuri's supercar quite easily, but then Comet decided, oh yeah, I'm gonna make a Fuji, like a modern Fuji, and this is like not the one he made for last week, but it was the one like where he like put the sound the M4 on it, and it looked like a really gigantic like Infinity or something. And that thing was even quicker because they had the transmission was much quicker, like much snappier. It had like 10 gears, and it's and all of the transmission ratios were very short. Like they're very well spaced to just maximum power. Although, with that said, his car, while being much more responsive, there's a trade-off. Tends to be a trade-off between me and Comet, where Comet goes for a tune that emphasizes initial turn and response in oversteer, and I tend to go for a tune that emphasizes stability, which means understeer is it's going to be in the mix. So yeah. Um, that's all I could say. Yeah, I'm not sure is it because like I have a keyboard or something, because Comet drives with a mouse. Um, yeah, Comet drives with a mouse. I also specifically tune my thing for drivability statistic, and I usually tune the suspension somewhat conservatively. Yeah, actually, the one weird thing me and Comet realized over the past year or so, BMG has put several updates to like the tire grip coefficients, for example, and every time my cars get better performing without being that much harder to drive, and then Comets become impossible to drive because the increased grip hasn't been accounted for, and then my cars tend to be set up to actually take advantage of that increased grip. So back then, last year we had like no early this year we had a round where on a Nurburgring actually that was our early Nurburgring round where I had like a GTI style hatchback. Comet had like a GTA 6 style kind of thing. So both 4-cylinder, 2-wheel drive. I think both of ours were manual, but I also had like a dual clutch version. But basically, at that time, the update didn't take place and Comet spanked me easily. But with the update, Comet's car became impossible to drive, and then I spanked him back. So, yes. I guess a lot of it, it's like, oh yeah, like you plan for a current moment, but it might change in the future, and you will have to change accordingly. For example, in a Toge round, my older cars were a rare exception where they actually became harder to drive from the increased grip. All right, so are we ready to get it started?
Yep.
All right, I think we're just gonna start here, and it's just whoever dashes into the first corner, and then, all right, 3, 2, 1, go. Also, the other problem with being on a Nurburgring is every time Zetra would race us, he would end up dive bombing us because he'd be so aggressive. And then not brake until he's right behind Comet. Because it's always Comet who gets hit by Zetra when he's dive bombing. Because they're both very competitive. And so every time they're in a corner, like every few corners, Zetra would just wipe out Comet, and then Comet just wasn't very like pleased with it. But yeah, interestingly enough, the 400 horsepower kind of GTR thing is keeping up with my 520 horsepower sedan. But yeah. I think the key for my sedan is you can manhandle it, but for this specific version, it's even better to drive if you're more careful with placing it. So when you go into a corner, you brake early enough so you can just turn the car in, place it in a corner, and then at the end straighten out for maximum acceleration from the all-road drive system. So you kind of have to be kind of more gentle with your inputs. For example, some other version where you can just you would actually be required to kind of just manhandle it in a corner because those are set up to understeer very heavily due to their nature. has balanced kind of premium sedan. And I think I should actually go to the version below the version I'm driving right now, because this is the top of the line performance version. It might be overkill for basically everything else in this round besides Comet's GTR. Yeah. But yeah, also another issue with Nürburgring actually is it tends, because it's so long and sometimes the racing isn't as close as we might like. For example, on C1, for some reason, no, not on C1. C1's kind of a special case, but on the Toge, for example, we had a bunch of close races where there's a ton of action going on. In Nürburgring, everything's kind of, oops. Everything is a little more spaced out because it's like an actual professional racetrack. And sometimes we don't know like how closely matched our like cars would be, which is why West Coast is kind of a thing because it helps us determine like these two cars, these are surprisingly close in terms of overall performance. Can't tell them as much on a Nürburgring unless you already know they are matched, but there are just a lot of power sections, so a little lopsided in that regard. But yeah, mostly the reason why a lot of my things are quite drivable for some people is I do test, like I every time I export, the default map I go to is this, the Nürburgring. Just because of its a bunch of elevation changes in high-speed corners, that combination, that's the combination I tend to focus on. Meanwhile, oh jeez, okay. Meanwhile, Comet's preference, he used to test a lot on West Coast because it was much tighter. It was a much higher track overall. But he also always tested on Subaru, I think. So, but a lot of the Toge passes, I think like Subaru and Akina were the two he always seemed to be working on. The other course I really like testing on is, well, actually, there's two other. I really like testing on Road Atlanta. There's a really nice map, though it's a little outdated and the textures are kind of wonky. And I also really like testing in Laguna Seca.
Yes. 66 Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca.
Yes.
The title sponsors WeatherTech now, but we don't talk about that.
How badly did it go?
I don't know, I just don't like WeatherTech.
Oh, I wonder.
Yes, I have too much of an emotional attachment to it being the Mazda Raceway, Laguna Seca.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I don't know, like what like made them kind of pass it on.
Good question.
But yeah, it's kind of so iconic. Speaking about that track, I once read an article where during the pandemic, like people were graduating, like from high school. There's a school in the area held their ceremony at Laguna Seca. Oh jeez, and people got to drive around the track in their cars. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, actually, yeah. How many racetracks? Unrelated tangent. Oh jeez. How many racetracks are like actually like technically a public road?
Le Mans.
All right, but Lemont actually uses a public road. It actually doesn't it actually make use of a public road?
Yeah, Le Mans is half public road, half dedicated track.
Right. Then how about like like a track, but it's often used actually as a toll road?
The only other example I could think of is Mount Panorama,
Ah,
the home straight.
right.
And actually no, the part of the track after the home straight, it has a bunch of driveways too, leading to houses.
Yeah.
So
Ah, interesting. Yeah. Also, I thought Spa was a toll road, but I guess I'm wrong. Oh, I got kicked out of my server again.
oh, that explains why I couldn't tab, because I'm currently spectating Shoji.
Ah, nice. Yeah, it crashed again, and then I forgot to actually launch it, so it couldn't verify me. Also, do you have any suggestions for next week, actually?
I'm not sure, but something like specific would be cool,
Hmm.
as well as the map.
Yeah, good point.
I
'Cause I've been
yeah, I
doing.
don't really have any present ideas at the moment.
I could probably ask theoretically just ask this host server just for a few ideas that I could just like put in reserve and use as needed. Also, if you want, I can like in the middle of a session, I can like switch out a map. I can switch out some of the cars, for example, and then we can just like rerun it. If that's what you wanted, I could do that.
I mean, I am getting a little bored of the Nord.
Yeah,
Bored of the Nord. That has a ring to it.
interesting. Yeah. Speaking about, there's one more thing I want to try. I haven't actually driven, so I haven't driven KB's car actually at all. Um, I still don't know what's the difference between like an automated manual and a dual clutch in terms of beam performance. Like, especially from an auto beam perspective. I'm still a little very confused on that. Oh, this thing actually handles heights. Never mind, I just crashed. But this thing is surprisingly stable. I suspect that is due to the very aggressive aerodynamic of the package. So, and I just crashed.
Oh,
Yeah,
I am the only one.
yeah. Would you like to switch to Mav? Because
Sure.
yeah,
So I just quit. Actually, I think unfortunately, I think I'm gonna leave for tonight.
yeah. I can. Yeah, it might be a good time to kind of just pause for a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
See you.
I'll see you
See you.
later. Yep.